Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another Snarkfest. We are welcoming back Marie after her 2-week hiatus, and happy belated birthday.
Yeah, I was going to say I was celebrating my birthday all week long, as you do.
And it works. Today, as a welcome back present, we get to do Attack the Clones because we hate ourselves. That's the only way to describe it. Yeah. I do remember when this movie was coming out, there was a whole feeling of, because I mean, everybody remembers the Phantom Menace not being well and not being that good. But when this movie was coming out, everybody was going like, okay, maybe they just had a false start. You know, he hasn't really directed anything for like 30 years. Maybe that was a one-off and Attack of the Clones would be better. Unfortunately, it's not.
So my feeling was when this one came out, because now I was 13 and not 10, and my older sister saw the midnight showing, which I wasn't allowed to go to because my mom's like, no, you're 13, you have school tomorrow. So she saw the midnight showing, and she liked it enough that she picked up me and my little sister after school that day, and went to see it again with us and a couple of her other friends who didn't see the midnight showing. So she saw it twice within the first 24 hours. Because, I mean, people were still excited that it was new Star Wars. So I don't remember people hating it at first, like the first one. Like the first one, my sister saw the movie, came back and was like, no, I'm not taking you. This is not worth watching again.
Oh, that just reminds me. I think I forgot to tell the Simon Pegg story when we did Phantom Menace.
I don't know some. Yeah.
Well, this is a long movie, so I'll be able to get into it. But I just remembered that. I do agree because when this one came out, I do remember there was a sense of it's not horrible. I mean, I remember hearing like on the radio stations, like it ain't as bad as it was, and it's just kind of a fridge logic movie of when you actually sit down and think about it, that's when you realize it's bad. When you watch it in the moment, not really, is what I've heard.
I think that's kind of how I think the first prequel, Phantom Menace, people hated off the bat. Anakin was annoying, Jar Jar was annoying. People just didn't like it. But I think with the second and third one, people liked them. But you're right, like, as they aged and we thought about it, it's like...
Yeah. Well, like I said, fridge logic. So, all right, well, if there's nothing else to say, we should probably get into this. So anybody willing to watch along with us or whatever, feel free to join. Have you posted it in the Google?
I will. I'll do that now.
I don't know how to use that. If anybody wants to join us, they certainly can. Obviously, I can't have you join and stream yet. But we will do our best to keep watch of comments. Sorry, I'm getting a little tongue tied today. If you have anything you want to add, feel free. And obviously, if anybody's watching this past date, you can feel free to just sync up to when we're ready. Because I mean, I even watch these myself occasionally after we do them, just because I love the sound of my own voice. So, let me know when you got it. Oh, my phone just died. Hold on. There it is.
Wow. The weather is apparently not that great in Denver right now.
Weather problems?
No, I know a few people in the area, but I've got a friend who's trying to fly home to Pittsburgh, and apparently her layover was in Denver, and she's stuck in Denver until Monday due to tornado watches.
Ouch!
Shocking.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's not coming up.
What's not coming up?
I'm trying to get to this on Facebook so I can get to the comments. And it's just, Facebook's just being weird on my phone today. Start the movie though. I'll get this as we watch it.
Okay. Well, I just tagged you in it.
That should help.
Stream. So hopefully that should. be able to get you in.
Yep, there it is.
Okay, yeah, perfect. So hopefully,
I don't know what was going on. It's weird.
Is it still acting weird?
Nope, we're good now.
Okay, there we go. All right. Like I've mentioned before, we're professionals, just not at this. So bear with us. So yeah, and again, like I said, anybody wants to watch this past date, feel free and get it lined up to the starting point. And in 3, 2, 1, play. Obviously, give us like 2 seconds while ours, because obviously since we're watching this on Disney Plus, ours has a syncing to group and blah blah blah. So I should probably turn on my TV because I forgot I muted it.
You muted. I can't help you.
No, I watch a lot of League of Legends, and I don't like the caster, so a lot of times I just mute it.
That's
that way I
fair.
can watch the game and not have to.
Oh man,
whenever I watch
they're all
football or baseball or whatever, I always do the same thing.
The Fox beginning of any Star Wars movie.
Yeah. So,
I just remember it always starting here.
yeah, I think that I don't know. I don't know if they've ever had the Fox opening, but I do remember like a couple of ones they don't. Episode 2, Attack of the Clones, which I do remember there kind of being like a whole thing of like the Attack of the Good Guys.
I can do my
and yeah, there is unrest, galactic sank, several thousands. I didn't know it was that much. Have declared intention to leave the Republic. Yeah. And here's something. We got the mysterious Count Dooku.
He's not that mysterious. They know who he is. He was he was a Jedi, and he left the Order.
Yeah. No, that's something that always kind of bugged me. It's like, okay, he's mysterious, but you know exactly who he is. I mean, it's like if there should be a Phantom Menace, it should be him.
So why are the Jedi involved? Are the Jedi fighting to keep people from leaving the Republic? That seems a little anti. Yeah, I don't think that's what peacekeepers are supposed to do.
Yeah, that's something that always bugged me as well, because it's like, you don't get. You are police. Okay, basically, you're police in this situation. You don't get to say what these people do. It's not your job. You don't get to tell people what
they're kind of leaving out that the separatists are leaving and are like forcing others to join them, which is why the Jedi need to step in and protect people. This whole setup is strange.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, is that Natalie Portman or not?
That one I know is not.
I know.
Anybody who's watched this movie before knows it's not.
Well, since we were playing that game in The Phantom Menace, I thought it'd be fun to throw in here, because it's the only time where it's not Natalie Portman.
Which is a real shame, because if ever there's a situation where you'd have body doubles, this is it. Yeah. Which something that always gets me, how come because the Queen is piloting one of the starfighters. Why?
She's not Queen, she's just a senator now.
Oh, whatever. But why? Because she had R2-D2 as well. Wow.
I guess she took R2 after what happened last time.
I guess, I don't know. But it's like if
he's back. I think it's like the only scene he's in, isn't it? That's what we talked about during the Phantom Menace.
Yeah. Is that him though? I didn't think. Oh wow.
How did they have a bomb on the ship, and why did they blow it down?
Yeah, that's a good point. The bomb was clearly on the ship. Why didn't they blow it up during flight?
Yeah, no doubt.
Because then you could hide the fact that it blew up, right? If it happened in flight, you could be like, "Oh, there was a malfunction."
Yeah. Yeah, but everybody dies except for her. And this part always bugs me. It's like, okay, I understand you probably have a relationship, but this is her job. I hate to be sounding so cruel, but it is her job to die so that you don't. Yeah. Oh, and there's the security forces after everybody's blown up.
Yeah. It's already too late.
Yeah, and here, I understand the new guy. Don't have this conversation of we need to leave. Literally grab her and carry her off the platform if you have to. Yeah. So I mean, but that's like a great example is like in the Secret Service when shots ring out, they don't would the president kindly go into the vehicle?
I never
They
noticed
put
her Padawan was in this movie before. I'm
What's
sorry. I got distracted
hear
by shit, what's her name?
Who's Padawan?
The green girl's Padawan.
Oh, the crazy one?
Yeah, the one that goes crazy and leaves in the
oh yeah.
Oh my god, why can't I think of her name right now?
It's not Ventress, but it's
I know, I keep wanting to say Ventress, but it's not.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank now too.
Yeah, I've never noticed her in this movie before. I thought she was created for the TV show. She's not.
Well, yeah. Let's see. In this part, she would be a Padawan at this point.
Yeah, no, she's definitely a Padawan. She's a Padawan during the entire Clone Wars TV show up until she turned.
Until she gets, No, because I just thought it's like, okay, they have a meeting of all the like Jedi Masters here. Why is she there? You think she'd be like, go read a book?
Well, that's why she was just kind of standing in the background. I was trying to name them all in my head. I know these people.
Would you think she'd just get a chair or something?
There's clearly no chairs.
Yeah. Even though there's literally a bench in the background.
Yeah.
Then here, it's like, okay, hold on. I do want to point this out. She's like, I think it was Count Dooku. Why do you think it was Count Dooku? What evidence do you have to suggest that it was Count Dooku?
I suggest we set it up in place under the protection of your graces.
Now, I will say this is actually a good idea I mean, not just this doesn't make sense. It's like, okay, if we put a Jedi in charge of your security, you should be good to go. Although why Yoda's getting upset, I don't know.
Perhaps someone else will do it. A new friend, like
Yeah.
That's possible. He's just returned from a border dispute on Ansia.
Oh man, I gotta look up her name now because it's gonna bug me until I think of it.
I don't even remember her master's name. I don't remember either of their names right now.
Luminara is her master name.
Ah. What's with the B? Or V? It's one of the Vale?
Varys.
Which is why we keep wanting to say Ventress.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my god, look at Obi-Wan's mullet.
Oh, I should mention this. This actually was added in post. This scene was added in post. I know this because for the rest of the movie, these two, they kind of hate each other, and it's like they're supposed to be best friends. So they added this scene after all the shooting was done to be like, okay, they are actually friends. They do actually like and appreciate each other.
That's fair.
Yeah. So because that's a problem that George Lucas forgot is like Obi-Wan, when Obi-Wan's talking about Anakin, he's like, he's a good friend and I love, blah blah blah. And then for the rest of this movie, they hate each other. And
they're kind of at odds with each other. Yeah.
Yeah. And here we see Jar Jar, who's
Anakin acts like the rebellious teenager he is.
Yeah.
Again, it's way better done in the cartoons as he gets a little bit older.
Yeah. I mean, but Anakin's only 19. Yeah, he's only 19. Yeah.
So Padme would be 24.
24.
25? Okay.
Oh goodness.
Because she was 14 in the first movie.
And then here, this conversation, I'm sorry, is just aggressively pressing panic button. This is not romantic in any way. This is creepy.
Oh, she just friend zoned you, dude.
Yeah, friend zoned.
Oh, you're still just a little boy from Tatooine.
Yeah. No, but granted, that's a lot of. That's one thing I absolutely hated about this movie. Even as a kid, I didn't like about this movie is I do not like these awkward moments of just like being awkward, just because that's my life. I am not good in social situations, so I will say something stupid and everybody just like. So watching on screen is just like I don't go to movies to experience my life. I go to movies to escape my life. And here we get a prime example of everybody awkwardly sitting there watching these two bicker.
Why else do you think we were
And again, you would think they'd have this conversation beforehand.
Jedi. It's over, the Master. Investigation is implied in our
We will do exactly as the council has instructed.
It's just, again, they cut to everybody just awkwardly sitting there. Like,
well, I think he's trying to show how, like, Anakin doesn't always agree with the Jedi Council, or to kind of try to show why he, goes against them later. Like, I get why they did it, but Anakin totally doesn't have any social tact, because that's definitely something that they should have, I don't know, brought up when it was just the two of them and not in front of everything. Because that's what Obi-Wan keeps, like, looking at him like, can we have this conversation later?
Yes. I mean, like I said, I do agree that it is something that they needed to set up, but they could have done it so much better. Because, like I said, it's just so awkward, and it bugs me because, like I said, that's my life, and I don't like to watch my life on TV. I mean, that's why I've talked to you about this when we've done here, when we're talking about
awkwardly arguing with people in front of friends.
Yeah, but yeah. Oh, and here we got the assassin character, which is another conversation we've had. I'll have to wait for a second. But while we wait, I'm gonna just bring up the Simon Pegg story now that I forgot to tell. Simon Pegg is a huge Star Wars fan, obviously. He deliberately flew from London to New York so he could be one of the first people to see a Phantom Menace.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So he goes to see it, and then after he left the movie, he called his roommate at the time, and I mean, I don't know, and his roommate was like, "So how's the movie?" And then Simon Pegg just, like, apparently for like half an hour at least, just goes off about it was so shit, and just having like a complete breakdown just about how bad Phantom Menace was.
It was our idea.
And here, so
Don't worry, no harm will come to him.
yeah, and then here, this part here, she covered the cameras. That's not. I understand that you wouldn't want, especially a teenage boy looking at you while you sleep. But at the same time, you're also under protection from like assassins. I think you should still leave those cameras available.
Yeah, but I think the point is that she trusts him, right? He's a Jedi. He should be able to sense if anything happens in there. He doesn't need cameras to see what's going on. They can use the Force to sense it. Yeah.
Although, another thing that I do want to point out is that their first plan to kill her was to bomb her ship. Their second plan is apparently slugs.
Yes.
I don't see how that one works, but hey, why not?
Just being around her.
And then here, it's like, this is conversations that it's like the Jedi should clearly be like, okay, something's up here. Your hormones are getting the better of you. Because that's why the Jedi take kids at such a young age, which, yes, the Jedi take children, so that's something we've talked about before. Jedi, not actually good people. Yeah. And R2-D2 is supposed to be watching over the place, doing a very bad job right now.
R2-D2 is a droid. Why is he even asleep right now? He's a droid.
No doubt.
He doesn't need to sleep.
He doesn't need to sleep,
Charge him up before, like...
Just plug him in.
Also, what kind of windows can just, like, be opened up like that? What kind of security is that?
I don't know. It's like the blinds are part of the window itself, I guess, but they still get separated like they're not, so I don't know. Oh, now R2's awake. What woke him up? What awoke R2 up there? And oh man, she sleeps in a weird position now. I don't think people sleep with their head at that kind of angle. Yeah, and then
if they have
R2, did you not? Apparently, the slugs realized the droid was looking for them, so they stopped moving and hid. And also, how did R2-D2 not see the droid hovering outside the window right now?
Also, why is Obi-Wan distracting him from being able to do his job?
Well, it's Obi-Wan's job too, so why are they both distracting each other?
Well, they're both failing at it pretty miserably.
Yeah. It's like you're supposed to protect her, and you're doing a very bad job. All right, calamari up for dinner. And then here, this part bugs me. It's
that was just me, right? Oh my God,
That scene always bugs me because
Anakin would do.
that's like, imagine him missing. Imagine Obi-Wan missing the droid and just plummeting to his death. Yeah, and here this part bugs me because it's like, why are you just hanging on to the droid? Shouldn't you be like trying to reprogram it or something? It's because it's just a matter of what the heck was your plan, dude?
Wee.
And then he just totally stole a cab. I don't mind you. I don't know it's a cab. I just like to assume it is. Oh man. And apparently everybody already knows he's a Jedi. And this part here, yeah. Okay, I understand that. Yeah, you don't want to be associated with the assassination plot. So I do understand, pulling out your sniper and getting ready to shoot. But I do have one problem. Don't shoot the droid like you just did. Shoot him. Shoot the defenseless idiot hanging off the droid.
How did they not have like a remote, like?
Yeah, a remote. Blow up.
Something like this happened.
Well, I mean, in the
Why did she even program the droid to return?
Yeah, no doubt. But like Empire Strikes Back, they have the probe droid.
She could have just programmed it to self-destruct after like releasing the slugs or
after
something.
It delivered its worms.
Well, Master, I couldn't find a screen that I really like to tell you. With the open cockpit and the right speed capabilities. You spent as much time practicing your cyber techniques as you knew what you were going with Master Yoda as a soldier. I thought I already did. Only in your mind, my better young apprentice.
See, I always thought that was a fun little banter between them.
Yeah, I guess it was. Oh God, that bugged me. They literally flew upside down there for a second, and now they're just dive bombing.
I can't remember. I think this would have been a perfect time for Obi-Wan to state how much he hates flying.
Yeah, well, I think he does later, but. But yeah, this part here, Anakin is laughing
because it's fun.
I don't like it when you do that. Apparently, he's done that before.
Oh, there it is. They do say something.
Yeah. And here we go into an industrial plant that apparently his entire job is just to make fireballs.
He's so quiet.
What is the purpose of these spires that are burning, and why don't you fly above them, asshole?
Can you lower it?
And here's another. It's like, what is the purpose of all this stuff? Seriously.
Yes.
I'll just shut off the volume upstairs.
No, because
I want to point out the subtitles there for Anakin was ow, 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 ow.
But I can't hear him no matter what you do. No, just turn the volume back up.
What's this?
There you go. You can hear Jacob.
Stop it.
Hey, what do you want?
Turn it back up.
Yeah.
You take it.
Yeah, and I do appreciate Anakin's like judging of, okay, if we keep chasing him like this, he's gonna crash. So we should probably try to.
You have it louder than I did.
Do I?
Yeah.
Why were you even wearing that face mask at all? It doesn't make sense.
She's got to hide her identity. She's an assassin.
Well, they weren't exactly on her ship. They wouldn't see her. I guess she was just protecting herself from COVID earlier. And how this part makes sense, I do not know. I don't know how she goes from going out that way to coming back around and going underneath them.
Did something happen?
No, I can still hear the movie on his end.
You went completely the other way.
Although Yeah, I don't. Yeah, that was
Did we get ahead of him somehow?
apparently.
That's not everything.
I don't think it would actually work that way, but your aim stuck.
Maybe I just need to play it fast.
He's got impeccable timing, though.
Yeah, he does. Which here's the thing. Here's how you get rid of him. Start spinning your crap like a psychopath.
You can do a lot of things to get rid of somebody just chilling on your spaceship.
Yeah, I mean that's something that always bugs me. Is like in movies, they got like someone clinging to the top of a car. Go as fast as you can and swerve back and forth as much as you can. They will fall off. Yeah. Oh, and that part bugs me because if you watch, he does the lightsaber's not shot out of his hand. He just kind of like goes and drops it. That part always bugs me. And you shot your own shit, and now your shit's on fire.
Oh man, Anakin,
Yeah.
losing your lightsaber.
Yeah, but what's
Yeah.
Because Obi-Wan is nothing.
Yeah, see, there you go. That's how you get rid of him. You should have done it earlier instead
All
of
Obi-Wan does is keep him out of trouble. Except for the last movie when he just randomly.
Kills babies.
Yeah.
Because Obi-Wan knows that.
Okay.
Chasing Grievous. That was an epic crash. How did she not get was she wearing a seatbelt? She must have had her seatbelt on.
Yeah, don't ask me how she did, because apparently like the front pylons of her craft were just crumple zones. That's what happened. Here, Obi-Wan calmly parks his craft, and then he goes in a hurry, but he's just kind of jogging. He's not in a run. I mean, he's clearly not in a hurry. That's not a sprint. He's just kind of jogging.
Did he just park in the middle of a sidewalk?
Apparently, I guess. I don't know. I feel bad for whoever's car that was because, like we mentioned before, yeah, it just stole someone's car. Yep. And then, there. How come I get the feeling because you're gonna be the death of me? Oh, because.
Yes.
Epic foreshadowing moment.
Yes.
And strippers everywhere there. My gosh. They're Alaska. Oh, and I do remember. I remembered before. I think I mentioned they had the whole. Yeah, they had the whole Jocasta News questionnaire thing where you get to ask like the Jedi librarian anything you want. And before this movie came out, they were like, "Is it going to be pod racing?" Yes, it was. In the background there, you saw pod racing. But that's it. Yeah. So here, this part here, it's like, okay, what are you gonna do? I'm gonna get a drink because you're driving me to drink. You go find life. Yeah, and this part here. Yeah. Now I heard that him flipping the death stick was at like a CGI thing that he did that like CGI. Where I don't know if that's true or not. It did look fake. It did look a little bit fake, so it could be, but I'm not certain. And rethink my life.
That was weird.
Yeah, I'm like a second ahead of you guys, but not much we can do about it. Like I said, I'm gonna watch this in Disney Plus. If I pause it, you'll pause. Yeah, here. I do like the fake out of it. Looks like she's gonna sneak up on Anakin and kill him, but no, she's actually sneaking up on Obi-Wan, who then cuts her hand off. Yeah. Which another thing, the lost limbs of Star Wars. There are a lot of lost hands. I'm a couple seconds ahead of you guys if you just saw her guy her hand cut off now.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. We were ahead of you at one point because our thing had a re-sync, and we watched a scene over twice. And I guess we're behind you now.
So that's probably why I'm behind. So
No reason to be close enough.
Yeah. Oh, I should also mention the reason she's a changeling. One reason. That way they can sell 2 toys. That's literally they had a toy for human face and a toy for alien face. That's literally the only reason. Okay, I'm gonna pause it for like 2 seconds to see if
no, because it's just gonna pause mine too. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
I know the movie well enough. If you start talking about something ahead of me, I'll be fine.
Fair enough.
So it's 2 seconds.
Yeah.
We do worse whenever we try to sync things separately.
That's true. That is true. Yep. And here they're talking about, okay, we need to continue protecting the queen or senator or whatever, blah blah blah.
Senator. Yeah.
Here's an idea. Why don't you send another Jedi to do this? You apparently have enough to worry about tax disputes. To send another Jedi. Something I do want to mention is here's something I think they should have done. Instead of having the whole shebang about episode 1, why don't they just have this be episode 1?
Yeah, no, we've talked about that. I thought this definitely would have been a better episode 1. I don't know why they ever decided, we need to see him as a small child. No.
Yeah. We've talked about this in messages.
Oh, it sets up how Senator Palpatine becomes Chancellor Palpatine. We didn't actually need that. You could have just started off whenever he became Chancellor. It's fine.
Yeah. No, but it's a whole situation of you want to come into the story as late as you possibly can and exit it early as you possibly can. Because especially in movies, you have 2 hours, maybe 3, to get across your story. Because people don't like sitting in a theater. I mean, even in theater productions, well, then you can maybe stretch it out to 4 or 5, but you're gonna have an intermission.
Right.
So it's I want to mention this. The reason Yoda's in his floaty thing is because if you were walking, he'd have to be sprinting to keep up with them. That's why they put him in a floaty thing.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
He's got short legs. I know how it feels.
Yeah. Yeah, it does make sense. But it's something I do love. It's just I got a floaty chair because I'm awesome. That's all you need. And I do love.
It just makes him look more old and decrepit as well, which just makes the final fight scene with him that much cooler.
Yeah, sure.
Look, Yoda's already feeling his age. He needs a wheelchair to get around.
Yeah.
When it's really just because he's short.
Droid replacing the window.
Oh, it's like Grogu's little carriage thing.
Yeah.
Except this one doesn't have the.
It doesn't have the little lid thing.
Because it's not a baby carriage; it's just a wheelchair.
Oh, that does remind me of my favorite part of The Mandalorian. I don't remember what happens, but a fight's about to break down. You just see Grogu reach out, hit the button, and then it closes just before the fight. I do love that. So.
I like how a lot of people wanted Jar Jar to be like a Sith. Like, oh, Padme gave him all the power of being Senator of Naboo.
Yeah. Oh,
they're like, maybe Jar Jar's actually behind everything because he's actually evil.
I wrote an entire thing about that way back when.
That was everybody's hope going into episode 3 was to find out Jar Jar was actually an evil badass to make his character worth watching through the episode.
Yeah, but I do remember. But I do remember a while ago I went on a whole shebang about how Jar Jar is actually the Dark Lord of the Sith and how he's manipulating all the things.
There were so many fan theories about that before episode 3 came out.
Yeah, I made mine almost immediately. I made mine before I saw anybody else's, so I was very pissed off when I saw other people making them too. But yeah, that's why I can't find it anymore because it was I watched this movie when I was 11, 12. I don't remember how old.
Whatever 2002 was.
2002. So okay, so maybe 13, but yeah. So about 20 years ago now. Just shy of it.
See, he's complaining about Obi-Wan like you would complain about your father.
Yeah.
That's why I never had a problem with their banter through this whole thing. Because I always just saw Obi-Wan and Anakin as like a dysfunctional family. So yeah, they bicker, and he, gets a little mad at him. But they love each other deep down inside.
This part here, another scene of aggressively pressing the panic button because this is not romantic. This is creepy.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, like, I'm just
exactly what we said last time we watched this.
It's just dark.
Well, allow me to ask you this: if your husband were to meet you and talk to you like that, would you be married to him? I seriously doubt it.
I've met guys who have said similar things to me, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't feel the same way about you. That's creepy. You can leave now."
Yeah, yeah, pretty much.
What's up, baby? You want a cat?
Yeah.
No, actually, the first time my husband and I met, he talks to me for like 20 minutes, and then he's like, I can't tell if you're interested or not because your body language is kind of closed off.
I did not say that.
You did.
It was not interested.
Your body language says you're not interested, but your face.
No.
Yes.
It was not interested.
You said I was giving mixed.
You were giving mixed signals.
I was giving mixed signals. And he told me that. I'm like, ow, it's because I'm awkward.
Still talk to you. And it wasn't that I was interested in you at the time. Remember, it was literally me just talking. You were like, you seem really uncomfortable based on your body.
That's what you said. That is what you said.
Based on your body.
So he pointed.
Oh man, that's a conversation I can see me and a girl I'm dating having.
So I
do like that part of like I'm very nervous. This is my first assignment on my own. I'm worried too. Don't worry, we got our two with us. So I do like that bit.
I like how they're pretending to be refugees, but look how fancy her clothes are.
Yeah, no doubt.
Like she's got that massive headpiece on. Her clothes are definitely like made.
We're the wealthiest.
Exactly. Her clothes were made better than anybody else's on that ship.
We're the wealthiest refugees ever.
Exactly.
Although I do also love this character we're about to meet, just because it is it's so absurd, but I love it. I wish we had more stories about this guy, just because.
I'm surprised they didn't even use him more often in the Clone Wars TV show, which is disappointing.
Yeah.
This guy.
You want a cup of Jawa? She asked, "You want a cup of Jawa juice?" What do they do? Take a Jawa and just wring it out?
I mean, it's kind of fun to see that Obi-Wan has connections like this.
Yeah. Well,
you would have thought that Clone Wars would have Clone Wars never really expanded upon Obi-Wan's background other than Satine. It would have been fun to see more stories with him and this guy.
Definitely. I do like his little robot companion thing too, that just rolls around on a wheel. But yeah, it does make sense that Obi-Wan would have connections like this. So yeah. I'm also very curious. How does he know so much? And there's something that always gets, you gotta, it's like, just because you're book smart doesn't make you actually smart, which is something I know a lot of experience about.
Like, I like to think that Obi-Wan was just as rebellious in his Padawan days with Qui-Gon as Anakin was with him.
Well, they have
and that's
that
how
whole
he knows
line.
This guy and all of his other secrets.
Yeah, but they have that line in Empire Strikes Back of when Yoda's refusing to train Luke, he's like, "Oh, he's too reckless, too impulsive," and then you hear Obi-Wan's go, "So was I."
Yeah.
So yeah, yeah. It's just man, the character. Not to mention the character design, they did a pretty good job. Mind you, you can obviously tell it is CGI. You can really tell that. Oh, and here you notice how they have all the bust of the Jedi there. The one he's standing in front of is Count Dooku. Oh wow! Foreshadowing. Haha. Where? Yeah.
What?
Yeah. No, the statue he was looking at, that's Count Dooku's statue.
Oh, right now.
It's supposed to be a whole thing of the foreshadowing of, we're going to be against Jedi, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't work though because you can't really tell it's a statue of Count Dooku.
I mean, you're right. I never knew that until you said something. Now that you said something, it's very obviously Christopher Lee, but I don't think I would have picked that up by myself ever.
Yep. And there we got some Jedi in the background who just some kid, I don't know.
Camino.
Perhaps the archives.
But yeah, the whole I should mention that there are 20 statues, the whole thing of 20 Jedi who retired from being Jedi, which apparently you can do for some reason. I don't know.
Why would you make statues in honor of the ones who retired?
They make statues of all the ones.
Because apparently it's a big deal to be able to retire and not die.
Well,
That's
like I said, I don't
weird.
know.
But I would kind of think that it'd be kind of like being a monk or something. Once you're in, you're just always a Jedi, and it would be kind of more scandalous to leave. Doable, but weird.
Yeah. So, where's R2 going?
She has lace over her headdress. That makes you look fancier. Lace is not a common cloth.
Yeah.
Not even lace.
Well, that's just
it's crochet. No, it's lace. That's lace.
But yeah, it's just something. It's like, oh, you're supposed to be hiding, and so I'm just gonna, instead of hiding, I'm just gonna draw attention to myself, and because like you said, that's clearly expensive. That's not something that you just wears. That's someone took time and effort into that. That's a very expensive headdress.
Look at the scalloped edges and the no. Oh, look at him kind of flirting. This is actually not a bad flirt scene.
Yeah, that one's not bad. That one's not bad. That one I can get behind, but and here we got Yoda teaching all the Jedi.
She's falling for it. She's like, oh man, he does have depth. He's not just a creepy 9-year-old anymore.
But still, like I said, it's just most of the scenes of them together just bug me to no end. Just because, like I said, I'm very socially awkward. So I don't remember, like, the first kind of conversation I had with my girlfriend, I don't remember exactly what it was, but I do imagine it was something like, okay,
I guess
you're very pretty, will you go out with me? I don't remember if that's exactly how the conversation went, but if it was, I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah.
These kids all seem really young to have been able to build their own lightsabers.
Yeah. It could be that they're using training lightsabers, because that was a whole thing, that they have training lightsabers that don't cut your arm off.
Yeah, so that you know how to use it before you build your own and like cut your arm off.
Yeah. No, but I remember reading some of like the old books about how you use like a training lightsaber. If you get hit, it's gonna bruise you, but it's not gonna cut your arm off. And then you actually build your lightsaber like more when you're actually ready to be.
Yeah.
You don't build your lightsaber until you actually become an apprentice to a specific Jedi. Whereas right now they're still basically all in class with Yoda.
I like how Obi-Wan, he's like, gravity says there should be a planet here, but there's not a planet here. Oh, clearly there's actually a planet there.
Yeah. Like, I think you just go there, dude.
Exactly. Like, how hard was that to figure out? If all the science and all the clues say there should be a planet there, but you don't see one on the map.
No doubt.
You needed a 5-year-old to tell you someone erased it to hide it?
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, and welcome back to Naboo, which again is something I mentioned when we first did it. This should be Alderaan. This should be all set on Alderaan. That way we give a crap when Alderaan gets blown up. In this part here, we see R2 struggling with the stairs.
Well, yeah, that is kind of weird. Why did she go back to her own home planet? If someone's trying to kill her, wouldn't that be the first place they'd look for her? I mean, I get that she's going to, like, some old family, like,
some old
place
family
in, like, the hills or something, but I think it probably, you're right, I think it would have made more sense if Bail Organa would have been like, why don't you go to my home planet? We can, you know, you can hide there. We have a family estate you can use that no one's at right now.
Yeah. So
Alderaan doesn't get much love.
Yeah. Alderon's
Planet that
entire
gets
point in the
blown up.
story is
They
to get
really
blown
don't
up.
make you more attached to it in these prequels than you think they would have.
Yeah. No, I mean, and here we got the new queen, who apparently is not 14 years old. She actually looks elder. Like, I don't want to say elderly, but she looks like she's about, like, I'd say 30-ish. Well, it makes sense that she would actually be a ruler, and the governor's back too.
Do you see any way for negotiations to bring the separatists back into the
She's got, and her headdress is just as flamboyant, and she's got mirrors in her hair too. It looks like almost.
Right.
It's outrageous. After 4 trials in the Supreme Court, Newt Gunray is still the Viceroy of the Trade Federation.
Yeah. And that's something that always bugs me. It's like, why would how could the Galactic Senate be able to say who is not the CEO of the Trade Federation?
Because the Trade Federation put Naboo under a blockade for no reason 10 years ago. And he was in charge of it then. Like, where were the repercussions for that crap? That's what they're
no doubt. Why don't they just arrest the guy?
Exactly.
And here, another point of Anakin, shut
you know,
up.
looking at that, you kind of have to, like, figure, why is Naboo not part of the Separatist movement, given how poorly the Republic Senate, like, came to their aid 10 years ago?
That would have been a thing. No. Padme is the one starting the Separatist movement because of how poorly that would be awesome. Oh my god.
That was never going to happen. But
I know that was never going to happen, but I am going to write that fan.
That would make more sense. Like, why is she fighting so hard to keep the Republic together, given how poorly the Republic helped them?
Oh man, I am going to go through that now. I am going to have to write a script about that.
And the Trade Federation keeps claiming they're neutral and they stay out of it when they clearly help the Separatist side time and time again. I don't know. This whole scenario makes no sense in the Jedi Origins.
That they have that whole they have an R2-D2 unit on that. Actually, it's not an R2-D2 unit. It's just the head of one because the body would not fit on that craft. The craft is so small.
I think you mentioned that during one of the other movies we watched too.
Yeah, I may have too. I may have, but it's the same thing in the Revenge of the Sith. Where R2-D2 is on this craft, his entire body is barely fitting in a wing that's this thick. So, and the Kaminoans.
Well, at least he looks more wet here coming out of the rain than he did when he swam through the seas of Naboo into the Gungan city last movie.
But like I mentioned, it's very hard to get an actor to be willing to get into wet clothing.
I get that, but I'm saying they put more effort into making him look wet now coming out of the rain than they did when they swam through the sea.
I think what they did is I think they wet his hair down, or like put oil or grease in his hair or something.
Oh, yeah.
But,
no, because they also made the fringes of his robe look wet here too. They always wet the hair to make him look wet, but keep the clothes dry because of what you said.
I trust you're going to enjoy your stay.
Yeah.
Please.
I do like
Men in Black.
Yeah.
Obi-Wan's so suave.
And this part here, Master Sifo-Dyas.
That's
completely red herring. Who is this? Oh, this is clearly a mystery we should all know about. No one knows.
I'm sorry.
It's one of those situations where it's like the internet has tried and it doesn't have. I mean, they go into it in the Clone Wars, but in the actual TV show. But yeah, in this movie, it's just a complete.
Yeah, like that was the weird thing. So they're like, Sifo-Dyas died 10 years ago. So during the Phantom Menace, Sifo-Dyas was out on Calamari, Camino here, ordering up some clones. So I think that's just also trying to show just how long Chancellor Palpatine has been like putting his plan in action, like how long he's been planning it. Because he wasn't even Senator or Chancellor back then. Which is what you find out during I mean, you already knew that having watched The Phantom Menace, but when you watch Clone Wars, the TV show, they even say how, oh yeah, Sifo-Dyas was sent out on a mission when the previous chancellor was still in power. And that chancellor has no idea what anyone's talking about. So you're like, what's really going on?
Yep, no one knows, not even George. And oh god.
Exactly.
Yeah. And this party, oh god. I appreciate her outfit, but I'm trying to think of how I can delicately put this. Okay, let me put it like this. If you were on a date with your husband and you were wearing these clothes, I think he would assume an offer's on the table. Let's put it that way.
It would at least say that you're interested, yes. Like,
yeah.
I don't, but maybe this is just Naboo fashion, and to her, it doesn't actually mean anything.
Yeah. It doesn't, yeah. Oh, right there. Anakin is touching her side, and she's not, it's like, is no one gonna stop this?
Nope.
Yeah, and, yeah. But yeah, there are apparently people there, but no one notices them. Yeah.
No one notices them about to kiss? No, they do kiss.
No one,
what?
Do, right? Yeah.
Where did that come from? I thought she saw him as a 9-year-old. It was the conversation on the refugee ship.
Yep.
I don't know why she falls for him. It's so weird.
Well, like I mentioned, a lot of
like
the
she
scenes,
falls for him so quickly. It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I mean, but it's like I mentioned, it's every conversation, almost every conversation they have is not a conversation of, oh, this is so romantic. Yeah, it's not a conversation.
He's talking to her like somebody who, like, he's talking to his first crush. Like, it makes complete sense why he's as creepy as he is. But why she falls for it doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's like I mentioned, every conversation between them is like a conversation of just aggressively pressing the panic button, like, call 911, I think I'm about to be raped type of conversation. And Obi-Wan, his hair is still wet. My gosh.
It wasn't wet in the previous scene. Somebody messed up continuity.
Yeah. Someone really screwed up there. I'm just looking in the background. They got like MMA fighting in the background, which does make sense. You would want your soldiers to know how to fight.
Yeah, it's them practicing.
Yeah. Yeah. This part, this kind of part gets me is they have a whole thing of like who was the original clothes? Jango Fett, who apparently was, they spent a lot of money to do it, but in a second here we'll see that he lives in like a crappy little condo with his kid or his clone, I guess. I don't know. In this part here, oh yeah, get the doll music, blah blah blah. And here, aren't you supposed to be like in hiding? Why are you going out on a picnic? It just takes a sniper on one of those hillsides.
They're so open and exposed right now. Again, why are they even? I don't know.
Yeah, but like I said, it's like you got kills in the background with the waterfalls. All it takes is a sniper up on one of those rocks, and you're gone. And here, Anakin going on like, "Oh, how would you do this? I'm a fascist." That's the only way to describe it.
Maybe he was the smart.
You really don't like politicians, do you?
I like 2 or 3.
If she wasn't in politics, you never would have met her. You better not hate it that bad.
Yeah, he's got this whole situation.
But he also met her in the midst of a big political situation, right? Where again, the politics wouldn't come help Naboo. So it's actually completely understandable why he doesn't like them.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what we do.
Is it them?
The trouble is that people don't
Is it though?
Then they should be made to.
Morning.
Yeah, and the tree made too. Like I said, fascist.
put someone.
Someone wise.
That's an awful lot like a big figure shit.
And here
See, they're
I will
trying to show why
this
he becomes a bad guy later. I get what they're trying to do. They just still rush things a bit.
here, this part here, what the heck is going on here though? We again, I'm in front of you a bit. We see Anakin riding a giant chicken.
This is a weird scene. Oh, the hills are alive with the sound of music.
Yeah, and then here, this part here. Oh no, I'm
And this
actually
is just
hurt.
weird.
Yeah. This is a scene they really should have cut out of the movie because it is just. I mean, it's obvious they're going for the whole teenage lover romance type things, but oh man.
Hey, are you all right?
It's a teenage lover, blah blah blah.
Wow, what just happened?
Yeah, like I said, they should have just cut that scene out. And now
No,
we're
they're
getting
totally
to
doing some
more-
hanky-panky right now.
No, but here's the thing: in another movie, if you were to cut right there, you could imply that they actually make love there. But yeah, this part here. Yeah, Jango Fett got paid a lot of money to make the clone army, but he lives in this tiny little crappy condo. This is not a big apartment.
I mean,
I have
GG's.
the run of the shit.
I just don't know. We don't know what the rest of the rooms look like. Maybe all the Kaminoans live in rooms this size, and there is no big condos. I mean, you saw the city. It looks like most of it is used to bred new clones.
Yeah.
Unless some of these, you also, given how the planet's water, I would almost expect the Kaminoans to, I don't know, be water-dwelling creatures as well.
Yeah.
And having this city just for visitors to come in to see their facilities. This is a really weird setup.
This part
the more I think
here.
about it.
This part here of okay, they're gonna go show him closing closet of the armor, which apparently Obi-Wan didn't notice, even though he was looking directly at it earlier. Yeah.
I mean, it looks like he's still looking at the closet.
Yeah.
It's already too late.
Yeah.
He already saw the closet. Oh man,
Yeah,
look at the
it's like,
armor
I
there. I
already
didn't
know.
notice that earlier in the shot.
Yeah. Yeah. It's just, and this is another situation where I've talked to you before about this. What I always dislike is where two people who are obviously enemies are having a conversation, and then it's like clearly you can tell that they're very tense between each other. Where I think they should be like very friendly. I think they'd almost be like joking around and stuff like that. But yeah, at
They're
that
just
point,
really bad at acting cool.
Yeah.
It's fine.
yeah. And Jango Fett
They're
is
both
kind of a
suspicious
character.
of each other. There's no reason for
Yeah.
them to be friendly. They both know who the other one is, and they know that the other one knows.
Yeah. But like I said, that's a situation where it's like they should be like 100% acting like, hey, Matt, acting almost like bros, I guess is the only way to describe it. So, I mean, just like I said, it's something that always bugs me. And then we come back to our creepy romance. Yeah, and he steals this from her plate. Why don't you just let her, cut her own damn food, dude?
Because he's just showing off.
I mean, I understand that it's it's like polite and romantic to like open the door for women, but I don't think that includes cutting their food and feeding them.
They're in the early stages of their relationship.
And another situation. Yeah. And another situation of clothing. Yeah.
She changes outfits a lot.
Yeah, she does. No, but again, her outfit. This is another outfit of very much of if you're wearing this on a date with your husband, this is these are clothing. There's an offer on the table. That's the only way I can put it. I don't want to sound.
Think that's it necessarily. What I'm more intrigued with is that she changed into this so that they could sit on the couch by the fire. I mean, this is just Yell's date setting. Like, she's totally interested in him, and this is like.
Oh, I'm going a little bit further than date.
I don't think there's any outfit that ever explicitly says there's an offer on the table. I'm just gonna say that. This just says she's interested and open for things to go some way, but obviously he's being creepy and she's being a little uncomfortable, in which case she's probably regretting some decisions.
Yeah, some decisions. Oh man. But I mean, there is a whole scene in Robot Chicken they just parody this scene, and Anakin. It's such. I'll have to send it to you, but yeah, it does. Oh gosh, I'm sorry. Her clothing is so revealing. It's like, seriously.
Again, that it could just be that's Naboo's like clothing. Like, maybe everyone dresses that way.
Fair
just
enough.
Because you're wearing a nice dress doesn't mean anything. It's more weird that she changed into this. We've seen her wear 3 outfits in one day so far.
Yeah.
Who changes that often? When you're in hiding.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, but you are right. Because now thinking about it, like in Korea, girls will wear skirts that are like super, super high, but they will not have any, like this would be too much for a shirt in Korea. So that is a good point, that it could just be the culture, but still. Yeah. But another situation is just we're having this conversation in your bedroom with the firelight going. Why are you in this situation
there's
at all?
Other things that are weird about this scene other than what she's wearing.
Yeah. There's a lot. Let's just put it this way. The entire scene, holy shit.
Yes.
No. You're right. Strong.
So.
He's like, after spending one magical day with you, I love you. I don't care what happens. She's like, no, I don't want to live a lie.
Yeah.
I don't like you.
If they need more fruits, it will take more time.
Although, and now we get back to Obi-Wan, this is something that I've written down before, but I gotta wait for it to get to the part here. Oh, nice little radar dish.
They never really go into Second do they?
No, they just say that he's the one that ordered the troops.
Yeah.
Cartoon Chuckers have done that.
Yeah, they spent a few episodes on it. Really, they just spent a few episodes saying how weird it is that the previous chancellor sent him away. Nobody really remembers why, and how he got caught.
Yeah.
They find his lightsaber.
Like I said, it's just a red herring that's never properly explored, unfortunately.
These callers are involved in the plot to assassinate Senator Alcala.
And here, this part, was he dead before they ordered the clones?
Yes, Master. They said Master said to me as Black Code for a bird heart at the request of the Senate over 10 years ago.
Like, nobody goes to the Senate records to try to find.
Yeah. But yeah. Apparently, Stifo Diaz was dead before the order of the clone army. So it's just, like I said, no one knows, and that's very unfortunate. Okay, here we go.
So they're going to arrest the bounty hunter just to ask him about the order?
No, they're going to ask him nicely.
No. They're going to. No, here's my question. How is he going to get Jango Fett back to Coruscant when he has
That's
his
what I
little
mean.
one
Oh,
seat
given his
fighter.
ship. There's a lot of, and like, what is Jango Fett actually going to know? They're just going to ask him, how did you know Sifo-Dyas? Why did he pick you for, like, he's not actually going to be able to answer, why did you place the clone order, or, the order of all these clones.
But yeah. No, but like I said, it's like, okay, how is Obi-Wan going to get him back to Coruscant, though?
He's
Obi-Wan
going
has
to
this
just
tiny
shove
little ship
him.
with one seat.
Exactly. Just shove him in the back of the cockpit. I'll be really uncomfortable.
There's no room. His chair is up against the back. There's no room.
They'll both fit.
He'd have to
He'll
sit
sit
in
on his lap. Exactly.
Or I guess
I'll put
Obi-Wan
him in
can
the
just
trunk.
commandeer his ship.
You've clearly never tried to fit more people in your car than seatbelts.
No,
I've never
haven't.
had anybody
Why?
ride in a trunk. I will say that.
I've ridden in a trunk.
I know people who've done it. I just never personally did.
Oh, I did a few times.
Jedi don't have nightmares. What kind of BS is that? You can't.
What? I didn't hear what you said. I heard you say Jedi don't have something, but I didn't hear what the word was.
Jedi. He said Jedi don't have nightmares.
Oh, screw you.
Because that's a statement that makes sense.
Yeah. Gosh, well, as someone who suffers from nightmares a lot, I wish I didn't.
I know I'm disobeying my mandate to protect you, Senator.
Yeah.
But I have to go.
But here's the thing: she's not in any danger on Naboo. I mean, it's very clear that they don't have any plans to get her on Naboo. She's fine.
I'm sorry.
Well, they don't know that. She was set to protect him, or he was set to protect her.
I'm going to point out, they have a couple points there where Obi-Wan's like swatting to blast the lightsaber bolt, but there's no bolt there. So,
This evolved very quickly.
Yeah, and use the Force to blow the rocket away. I mean, literally, just shoot the rocket back at him. And now you lost your lightsaber.
Oh,
although
like
I do like that Obi-Wan apparently does know how to fight. Obi-Wan knows how to fight without a lightsaber. I do like that. Because it would be that
you're a Jedi,
Obi-Wan.
You don't specifically need a lightsaber. It's just more useful if you did. See, there you go. Karate chop kick.
Whee! Yeah. Oh, this part here where he gets it, where it's just the whole.
That would hurt.
Yeah, I don't know how to describe it other than
I like
just,
that zoomed in camera view of the lightsaber. How did you miss that, Obi-Wan?
Oh, the part here kicked him off the roof and then not good, which apparently was supposed to be a thing. I have read that apparently Obi-Wan was supposed to like a lot of times during the movie was even going like, not good, not good. And this guy is apparently very strong to be able to hold him up and hold himself on the building like that.
Yeah, that's right. I'll do it next time.
I like how he just uses the Force and it grapples properly.
Maybe a hard climb.
That would be a hard climb. He's pretty much just using the claws on his things there.
Gauntlet, yeah. Oh, and I'm at this point, you guys aren't yet, where they have him going back into the ship and he bumps his head because the whole stormtrooper bumped his head in the originals. Yeah, great callback there, George. Even though it wasn't really
The cockpit of a spaceship is weird.
Yeah, it does. Well, his spaceship is a weird design.
It's true.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's like, how is it you have a ship where you have to lay down on your back and take Okay. Back to Tatooine.
Seems counterintuitive that you have to
Oh
get
gosh.
Don't
And these little
astronauts, isn't their
taxi
sideways like that too, though? When they first get in it?
I hate these. Oh gosh, I hate these taxi things so much. Because you see these taxi things where the droid is carrying it, but there's no support in the back. So I just imagine Anakin gets off and then just catapults Padme out into the desert.
She's still, she blends in so well.
Yeah, no doubt. And here we got Watto. Watto is apparently. I don't mean to. How can I put this? Watto is very Jewish. That's the only way I can put it. I mean, seriously, he hits all the Jewish stereotypes. It's not even funny. And then Annie. I do like that Yoda that Watto has that moment of, oh my god, you've grown up, dude. I like it.
Kid definitely went through a growth spurt.
Yeah, he did.
Grew like 2 feet in 10 years.
I think 3 feet almost. Because he was like 3 feet tall, and now he's, gosh, 6 something. Yeah, and here it's like, it's like, you sold my mother? Well, because this is business, and I have to eat, so. Yeah, and then who I sold your wife to, who I sold your mom to, freed and married her because apparently you can't just marry a slave.
Someplace over on the other side of Los Angeles. I'd like to know. Sure. Absolutely. Good looking wedding.
Yeah, and we have a whole thing. And back to Geonosis, another desert planet, which is just not.
It's just cheaper that way.
Yeah.
These space opera movies just love their desert planets.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do. That was half the plot of Argo.
Yeah.
On how they
and this
were able
part here, this part always bugs me. Obi-Wan, fly above the asteroids.
That was an interesting laugh there,
Bubba. You go above them. Let them be the idiots who fly through the rocks. You go above. It's not like they're entirely surrounding the planets. You can go up.
You gotta drive through the rocks. Obviously, it's the fastest way.
And also, the seismic charges. They're basically detonating a 2D bomb in 3D space. Go up,
I don't know
down.
why he didn't just fly over the rings. This doesn't make any sense.
Like
maybe gravity just says
with
the
all
easiest
Star Wars has this issue of
way to get
you
through.
can go. You're not just on a. You're not on a plane. You can go up. You can go down.
Why would you follow him? You know he's throwing bombs at you.
Yeah, following him into the rock, into not just the rock field, into a specific rock.
His ship does not have the right shape for doing close maneuvers.
Yeah.
Everyone, you fell for that.
Wow, this is why I hate flying. Yeah, they do have it. Yeah, you got pretty good strafing on him, but How is it your plan to shoot him with your guns first and then
Probably.
shoot him
I mean, if
and
it's for a
not?
video game, they'd overheat. Finish
Why
him.
don't you open up with the missile?
Get over here.
That missile has very good range on it, considering it is still tracking like the size of my arm. It has a lot of fuel on it.
That's Justin's bad podcast.
And here. Okay, also, watch my spare CDs. The spare card scanner, that'd be like food and stuff like that.
You know, for in case, yeah, I don't know. See, he could have put Boba Fett in the spare parts canister whenever he went to take him back to Coruscant.
That's a tight fit, but maybe.
He had a lot of spare parts in there. I'd call that.
I'm just gonna go that it was just gonna be Obi-Wan commandeer his ship and then come back.
That probably would have been the more simpler.
That's what I'm gonna go with, because otherwise it doesn't make any sense. Because that ship is way too.
At least the flying guys.
The flying guys? Yeah, they're the flying guys. They're the bugs. They're the bugs.
I'm the fun guy.
Cockroaches.
Exactly. Oh,
I think it's dumb enough.
Yeah, this part always kind of bugs me about this part of the movie. Just like this part of the movie is just it's so boring because there's nothing happening. And I've talked to people like even now I'm kind of having points of like, oh crap, or it's like I forget I'm watching a movie and start getting a movie. It's just a whole bunch of, oh, we're setting up plot and blah, blah, blah. But it's just like, you could have done this so much better. It's just so boring. Well, it reminds me of, I forget who it was, but there was a director who was talking about watching this movie. And then, like, at this part of the movie, they, being in the theater, where they literally just didn't realize they were watching a movie and just totally forgot about everything. Which I would believe, just because it's just going on. Yeah. Oh, and like we mentioned before, they're supposed to be hiding, yet they have this very, very shiny ship that the characters around in. Welcome back.
Oh, look at C-3PO.
Yep, we got C-3PO, Anthony Daniels back.
C-3PO's not naked anymore.
Yep.
The maker. Jesus. Still
Although he has
mostly
yeah.
Oh, there's CGI in here?
He doesn't look like he's a suit.
No, he's a suit.
Well, I'm sure he's a suit.
So, and here we get where he meets his stepbrother, which is something they could have done is, hi, I'm your stepbrother, and this is my, girlfriend Beru. I kind of almost wish that had been like, oh, this is my girlfriend Beru. Oh, who's Beru? Oh, that's her sister.
I think it would have made more sense if they were already married.
Yeah, or fiance.
That would have made slightly more sense whenever. Also, yeah, it's just weird how Obi-Wan comes up to them in the next movie, having never met them.
Oh, whatever.
So here's a baby from your stepbrother that you've met once.
Yeah, no doubt.
Lars is such a dude.
It is. Yeah, it is a hard one to sell.
From the tracks.
But yeah, it's. And my mom. I need to find my mom. It's
vicious. Something for sunbathing?
Yeah.
Kim Kardashian's close.
I mean, you're on a desert planet. It's probably the best sunbathing you can get, right? Oh, we missed his sand comment earlier.
What?
Dang it.
We missed what?
His sand comment when she was saying how they laid out on the sand and he goes, I hate sand.
Oh.
We missed it.
I wasn't going to say anything because I wanted us to forget about it because we do have an S comment of mentioning it every time they talk about sand.
Just like how they're
Well,
on
we-
Tatooine
here's-
right now because Padme's like, oh no, she doesn't do that yet. She's like, yeah, let's go to Tatooine. Padme's super awesome in this movie.
Padme is the main driver of the story almost. Which is a real shame. She goes from basically one of the main driving forces behind the movie into back into damsel in distress in the next one.
Yeah, that's why I hate the third movie so much, but that's okay.
You're gonna have to stay in here. These are good people, Padme. You'll be safe.
What are you gonna? Oh,
And
you're
this
gonna
part here.
What?
But I want to come with you, Annie. I can totally kill sand people with you.
No, she probably told him he's not fine.
But they got a speeder that
Well,
he
he
can
probably
take
needs
without worry, apparently.
Truth be told, though, like in this situation,
I guess they don't mind that he's taking their hot rod.
you figure that the children and women, the sand people, would probably be part of the torture.
Wait, here,
Obviously, they know what's going on if they're letting it happen.
No, here I gotta mention this. Here we hear the Duel of Fates again. It's the only time we hear it again, which I do know that
I like how they're playing Duel of the Fates.
God.
There's no dueling though.
Yeah, there is.
In his mind, right?
No, that's what I'm mentioning. That's what I'm getting to. I'm sorry. Who's the? Oh fuck. The. Oh man, the composer. Frick. Who composed the music? Frick.
It's a prelude to the.
Oh my gosh, I am gonna. Who composed the music for Star Wars? Oh my gosh.
John Williams.
I'm drawing a blanket. What?
John Williams.
Yes. Gosh. How am I drawing a blank on that? Anyway.
I have no idea how you're drawing a blank on that.
Oh shush. But I do know between this movie and Episode 3, he wrote a formal letter of complaint to George Lucas because when they were doing this, he wrote a whole bunch of musical cues to be like these are the musical cues that you will use throughout the series, throughout the trilogy. But George Lucas didn't use them, which great way to piss off a composer. So John Williams was very pissed off and wrote a formal letter of complaint to be like, no, this is not right. Fuck you. And I don't know why they agreed to do the third one.
George Lucas is only hurting himself. If the music was written and recorded in line with the movie with cues, and then you go and use it differently, obviously you're messing a lot of impacts and you're ruining your own movie.
Yep. But yeah, like I said, I do know for a fact that John Williams wrote a formal letter of complaint to George Lucas about that. Because, like I said, if you want to piss off a composer, don't use the music they specifically wrote for you. And now we're finally getting into Christopher Lee, which Christopher Lee is a badass. He, legit British SAS Special Forces, awesome guy. He was in a freaking heavy metal rock band. He's awesome. Which reminds me of a story we'll get to when we do Lord of the Rings. If we do Lord of the Rings, we have to do Lord of the Rings, even though they're very long. But we'll have to figure out when.
You messed him up himself.
What? Here we got Politics, the movie, where we're setting up droid armies and blah 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 blah.
We will have a droid army. It's so good that they were having that talk just as Obi-Wan found them. Oh, they have a droid army.
Yeah, no doubt.
Oh.
Well, the biggest problem is basically an as-you-know conversation. And that's... and these two dogs... And
that doesn't give anything away. Why would Boba Fett, the supplier of DNA to the clone army, be showing up to a separatist meeting where they're talking about a clone army?
No idea.
It doesn't show you from the beginning that somebody higher up is behind the scenes. They're so dumb. Yeah. I'm sorry. The Jedi Council are idiots.
Yeah. But it's an entire situation of, okay, yeah, it makes sense that they'd want to use someone who's fit, you would want to use someone like Jango Fett to make a clone army, but beyond that, that's it. That's all you use them for. You just use them as a DNA template. Beyond that, he's, you shouldn't have him be part of any of your plans, but apparently he's just security, I guess. I don't know.
But he's clearly working for the Separatists.
Yeah.
But he's also, since he's the basis for your clones, he's around you guys all the time. Like, this is just a conflict of interest.
Yeah, this is called bad juju.
Like, if you're hiring someone, you're not going to go and hire somebody from the other side just for their DNA.
Yeah.
You're going to try to find somebody on your side who has good DNA as well.
Yeah, no doubt. But like I said, it's just... But I'd still just be like, just hire him for his DNA, and then once he's done, you get rid of him. You don't need him anymore. You don't need to kill him.
No, they need his ongoing supply of DNA. Otherwise, it gets stretched too thin. They mentioned that somewhat in the Clone Wars after he dies. They're like, oh, since he's dead, we don't have a fresh supply of DNA anymore. The clones might get a little weird since we're just replicating what we have.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, they do touch upon it in the Clone Wars TV show.
Yeah. You think what they do is just, instead of like, okay, we need more DNA going up, giving a shot, you think they just take like a freaking gallon, like a huge amount of blood, and be like, okay, we got this of DNA, we good.
Well, they probably did, but eventually they'll go through it. They're making a ton of clones. And even, like, if you make copies of copies, because, yeah, they can just use the clones they have, each copy you make is, a slightly worse quality than the one before it. So, again, it makes sense why you would want to have the Prime on hand at all times.
Yeah. Oh, and now we see Anakin slaughtering the Sand People. And I'm gonna have you listen here, because you will hear Liam Neeson going, Anakin, Anakin.
He looks so angry.
Pay attention.
As he should be.
Yeah.
It's a cool Jedi thing, is you're not supposed to kill an angler. He's clearly doing that right now.
I'm very curious because I know around this time Liam Neeson was in a car accident, so I'm actually curious. Did they want to get him in for to appear in the movie or not as like a Force ghost or not? That's a question now. Is it because I know that George Lucas is like, oh, I'm going to answer the Force ghost thing, even though he never does. Is it that they never do it because he got into a car accident, or that they never do it because he just didn't or he totally forgot about it? Knowing George Lucas, it's because he forgot about it. But
I don't know.
Something with a car accident.
Well, like I said, but does need to be said that
the transmitter is working, but we're not receiving a return signal. Carson's too far. R4, can you boost the power?
Can you boost the power? We have a battery the size of a AAA. What power?
Anakin, Naboo. It's much closer. Anakin, do you copy? This is Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah. And Naboo is apparently much closer.
Let's try and widen the range.
Yeah. This part here.
Nothing's happened to him.
Yeah. See, he's concerned about his Padawan.
Yeah, well, it makes sense as a concern, but it's like, oh, they're on Tatooine. Wait, what? It's like, why are they there? What always gets me is you think that Obi-Wan would be like, in the future, he'd be like, okay, why the hell did you go to Tatooine? Dude, this is a conversation that would seriously, they would be having conversation with the Jedi Council of, something's up.
No, because he knows he's been having bad dreams about his mother. So he probably knows why he went to Tatooine. He's just more like, why is he there? I told him to stay on Naboo.
Yeah.
He's Jedi knows.
It's like, oh wait, hold on.
Like,
you didn't.
Look into their feelings. He's been told to let his mother go. Like, that's what that was about. He was irritated.
Which is still shit.
Yeah.
And here, just we're gonna give my mom a funeral now.
Oh, she's changed again.
Yeah.
That looks at.
And this scene here. This scene here where we got him where
look at the blue milk.
The blue milk. But here we got Anakin's obviously hurting, so yeah, Padme's gonna try to comfort him. But basically, what he does is, I committed genocide. That's the only way to describe it. Something else that's kind of getting me. We got all these blinking lights in the background. What the hell are those for?
Probably just detectors, you know. I'm sure they have equipment out in the field detecting moisture. Seems very sophisticated for farming, actually.
It's just something that always kind of gets me. It's like, okay, what information are so? It's like I'm just imagining, like, oh no, a white square. Oh shit, we gotta go.
Someday I will be.
No.
I will be the most powerful Jedi ever.
Jedi, no, but you know.
Oh, and here, I will be the most powerful Jedi. It's Obi-Wan's fault. He told me that. Blah blah blah.
It's all.
Mind you, I do know from experience when you lose someone very close to you, you blame everybody. I mean,
right.
When you lose someone very close to you, you will blame anyone and anything at all because you're in that much pain.
Yeah, and I think Padme gets that right now.
Yeah. Well, I mean it's like I said, I do appreciate that. Anakin's basically gonna go on I committed genocide. I killed them all. I killed them all. I killed them all. I killed the women. I killed the children. I wiped them all out. And she doesn't push him away like normally you would because he's very obviously in a lot of pain. So
like animals, and I slaughtered them like animals. I hate them.
And then I will mention this is part of why I like the Mandalorian so much, where the Sand People are actually they actually have personality and they actually will work with you if if so long as you don't do anything that's too sacrilegious.
Well, I mean, in the Mandalorian they only got them to work with them because he's like,
he knows
I can help you destroy this thing.
Yeah.
Because normally the Sand People would just attack them.
Yeah, normally they're just like rednecks of the galaxy. They'll shoot anything that comes near them.
I don't think the Sand People would have worked with them under any other circumstances other than trying to defeat the Krayt Dragon that would kill everything.
And I know I've talked to you before. I don't really like the design of the Krayt Dragon because it just looks like a giant worm. I wish they had left it more like a dragon, like how it was originally set up in KOTOR and stuff like that. And oh no, Padme changes again into her white outfit.
Different outfits did she bring with her to this little trip to Tatooine?
No doubt. How many outfits does she have? Period.
A lot.
Well, I mean, how many outfits did she go through in this entire movie? At least a dozen.
Her suitcase must use Time Lord technology. I don't know how else you would fit so many outfits.
You know what? Why not? Why not? I'll buy it. Why not?
But did they take the ship here, or did they come over on the speeder bike?
There.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Yeah, they got their silver ship type thing.
I won't fail again.
Yeah, in here.
Okay, had you just shown up 2 days ago?
Had the Jedi Council let you show up when you wanted to.
It would have taken 4 hours.
I don't understand why the Jedi Council was so oh, you have to let these nightmares go. Just let him, get resolution with his mom. And then he would have been a fine Jedi. But no.
And had he saved his mother.
Well, it's like I mentioned when we did Revenge of the Sith. It's like
the Jedi totally made him what he is because they're dumb and they don't know what to do with emotion when you feel it.
Yeah. No, but it's like I mentioned when we did Revenge of the Sith. It's okay. What's the worst thing that the Jedi could possibly say to Anakin at this point? That's exactly what they say. Instead of working with him to figure this shit out and being actually helping him. If it's bothering
him, you can't just let something go. There are other healthy ways of finding resolution to what's going on.
Yeah.
What is Newt Gunray trying to gain from killing Senator Amidala though?
I think
Is it just because she was going to lead the way to vote against them or something? Like
my thinking is that it's just that she spited him, and that's why. It's just a personal vendetta type thing. That's what I'm saying, because otherwise it doesn't make any sense. Well, I mean, it reminds me of okay, I'm not gonna go on that. It's a history rant. Never mind, I'll shut up. Because if I don't shut up, you will shut me up. So
gotta stay focused on the movie.
Yeah.
And this is where Padme is also badass. She's like, "You're supposed to protect me. I'm gonna go to Geonosis. If you want to protect me, I guess you're coming along."
I was just gonna say that is my favorite part of this entire movie. Of just being like, okay,
you were also told to stay on the boo, and you did that so well too. Why are you choosing now to listen to them?
Yeah, why are you choosing now to pay attention to your orders?
This is why I love
but
Padme.
like I said,
she's
that is my favorite
good voice
part
of
the
reason
movie.
against his whatever.
The Jedi.
Yeah, she's like, "You're not thinking straight right now. We're gonna go save Obi-Wan. Don't worry. I'm not gonna let you sit this one out. You'll regret it later."
Yeah. And here we come back to another meeting with Palpatine and the Jedi and a few senators.
Unfortunately, the debate is not over. The Senate will never approve the use of clones for the Senate's attack. This is a crisis.
Thank you, Blue Guy. This is a crisis. No! Yeah. And here we see that this entire scene is basically them manipulating Jar Jar. That's the only way I can say it. That's the entire point of it.
Oh, poor Jar Jar. Oh, Christopher Lee.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Christopher Lee.
This is a mistake. It's terrible.
But yeah, like I mentioned, Christopher Lee, total badass. Seriously, he is a guy who could he gives off menace just by talking, and it's awesome.
I hope it doesn't take too long. I have work to do.
May I ask why a Jedi Knight all the way out here on Geonosis?
I've been tracking a bounty hunter.
So, and
Well, no bounty hunters here that I'm aware of. Geonosis.
you were just in a meeting with one. I saw you.
It's a great picture.
Yeah, there are no bounty hunters here. I literally saw you having a meeting with one not a day ago.
Still alive.
It's this part. Is that really the most practical way you have to hold someone hostage? You don't have like a jail cell you can just lock them in?
Don't be so sure.
This is their jail cell. They just kind of make you float in chains. It's fine. It's not weird at all.
I also love the fact that the pirates use it all the time.
I know. I don't know how you go to the bathroom in that, but you know.
Oh, and not to mention, if you need to be fed, they have to feed you.
I'm not saying it's practical, but it does keep them locked up, I guess.
So, the Dark Lord said,
No, that's not possible. The Jedi would be aware of it.
Would you though?
the dark side of the Force.
Yeah.
It's clouded their vision, my friend. Hundreds of senators are now under the influence.
Now, here's the thing. Count Dooku, everything Count Dooku is saying is 100% true.
Yes.
Seriously, that's kind of a problem. He should be trying to, get Obi-Wan to the dark side, and instead he's just like, dude, this is what's up. Palpatine's the Sith Lord. I mean, seriously, if you were to say that Count Dooku, at this point in the movie, if you were to say he's actually still Jedi trying to do save the galaxy, you wouldn't believe it, because everything he says to him, everything he says is
that he's working for him, and who Darth Sidious actually is. I mean, to be fair, you're not gonna let him know the true identity of Darth Sidious before he joins you, because that would.
Well, he outright said,
like,
that the Senate is in control.
They said, well, let's talk.
And then thanks to the law of two, they'd have to fight, obviously, but you know.
Rule 2, yeah.
Fine.
No, but like I said, if you were to say right now that, because he does explicitly say, you know, the Senate is under the control of the Dark Lord of the Sith, which it is, because Palpatine is the Dark Lord of the Sith. So at this point, if you were to say that he's actually still with the Jedi, he's trying to break up the Republic to, you know, get those systems away from being under control of Palpatine, you would believe it. But unfortunately, that I'm going with it.
You know, you wouldn't have to give him supreme, like, extra power if you all could just vote on what needs to be done the same way anyway.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is my biggest problem of the Republic. Okay, they have this
How
Republic.
are you
they
not,
have the
like,
Republic.
setting boundaries
How does
for,
the Republic
you know,
police
outline
itself?
when it would be over and you have to give the power back?
I will create a graph
Yeah.
of the Republic.
No, but it's just a situation of how come they didn't already have an army? How does the Republic police itself? Because we saw an issue in the episode 1 of they form a blockade of a planet because of trade disputes. Why? What? You know, why don't you have
it's a little weird the
already?
Republic have an army to begin with, right? Like, how every time a war comes up, you
Or
just
at least a
create
police
one,
force
like,
of
right then
some.
and there, and they have zero training. You're set up to lose every time.
Yeah.
Well, what they should be using is that.
The Mandalorians are.
Well, I mean, it's an issue with the. It's basically an issue that I have with the UN of. Okay, the UN is supposed to be making all these laws. How do they police these laws? They don't.
I can't stop eating
The UN
pistachios.
is so useless because it can't do anything.
Just put them on the table in front of you. I gotta stop eating.
Oh, and this part here. Okay, Padme is going to try to, get Obi-Wan free as a senator, and so blah blah blah. Why are they landing in a steam vent then?
Don't worry. I've given up trying to.
Why, if you're going to try to negotiate to get Obi-Wan free, why are you landing in a steam vent instead of at a hangar and being like, okay, you know, this is who I am, this is what I'm here to do.
Yeah, I don't know.
Seriously, it doesn't make any sense.
Well, obviously that's
granted-
the landing pad,
granted-
though, because look, it has a walkway straight to an entrance, so I don't think they're trying to be all that sneaky about it. Otherwise, they would have landed in the middle of nowhere. They landed right next to a walkway.
Robert, where's the welcoming committee?
Yeah, wouldn't she have had to, like, disclose? No, they obviously don't pay
Here's a
attention.
question.
So,
Hold on. Why is
no one is paying attention
C-3PO
to
still
this
there?
guy on Geonosis. Exactly.
Doesn't C-3PO belong to Anakin's stepbrother, not him? So why did they just let them take C-3PO?
I don't know.
I'm very confused now.
Wait. No, wait, okay.
I mean, C-3PO is kind of Anakin's. Anakin made him.
Yeah.
And then he gives them to Padme because he made him to be a protocol droid, and obviously as a senator, it's great to have a translator.
We shouldn't have done this.
Yeah. And here's the welcoming committee.
Yeah. The welcoming committee tried to kill you.
It's, yeah.
And what's the point of that walkway? Because that
How did
wasn't
you not
exactly.
grab her when you grabbed onto the door?
Well, it was like that walkway was just extended out for
That's
2
right.
feet and then
It's just
stopped. It
drama.
wasn't connecting
Fine.
anything.
Action movie.
It doesn't even extend anything. Oh, and this part here where we see Padme.
Why
has
she
this
still
gun.
has the, like, shaw on would make no... I would have
Yeah.
ripped that thing off at this point. That's going to get
Yeah.
caught and kill you.
No, but I do need to
You don't want to
mention
wear
that.
loose clothing in a factory like
You
this.
never want to wear cakes.
But I want to
Especially
mention
in a factory.
like in the
Like,
bloopers, they
that's
have a
bullshit.
scene of
You can't
where
wear clothing like that. It's gonna get you killed.
yeah, you can't wear loose fitting clothing like that. Well, I mean that's a part of
right?
Sam,
in
yes,
the
I'm talking
original
about
monkey-
Padme's cape still. She needs to take it off.
Well, have you ever heard the story of the monkey's paw?
I can't hear you. I'm sorry, Jacob.
Yeah. Have you ever heard the story of a monkey's paw?
What?
You never heard the story of a monkey's paw?
It's been a while. I don't remember it.
Okay, basically, it is that you get this thing. It'll grant you. You get a monkey's paw, and it will grant you a wish. But it's like a Faustian deal. So like the family wishes, like we wish we get $100,000 or whatever.
Right, and then the
what
kid dies, and they
happens
get
is
a settlement. Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, but what happens is the father gets his clothing caught in a factory and ends up dying as a result. So and then as a settlement result, they get $100,000. So, but yeah, and mind you, it goes on a little bit more, but that's basically it.
No, I mean factories are very dangerous to work in. That's why OSHA's a thing. That's why unions are a thing.
And you
'cause
don't
they
wear
were created
loose
to
clothing.
protect workers from the employers making them work in harsh conditions.
Yeah.
That man's in the crucible.
She is in a crucible. She's going to die. Oh my
here we
goodness,
go.
Yo, you are so dumb.
Yeah, it's like his head is apparently controlling the body, but then again, his body is also able to control itself. What? I don't know anymore.
Their heads connect. The wiring must be super simple.
Body,
if all it takes is two little.
Yeah. That's why they're so weak.
That's fair.
And this part here. If you were watching, that old thing always made flat pieces of metal. It always made flat pieces of metal. But then when it gets to Anakin's arm, it makes this thing that compasses his arm and traps his arm. That doesn't make any sense.
Did he lose his lightsaber?
Of course he lost his lightsaber.
It's not. Well, you'll see later.
Padme's screwed. Look at that.
Yeah. She's gonna get hot, like insanely hot molten model poured on her. Which, by the way, that would be a classy way to die. I mean, seriously, if there's what's the worst way you can die, that's probably it. And R2 was right in the nick of time. Stop.
I like the dramatic zoom in on her face as they show the liquid pouring in.
Yeah, Yeah, here's where
you always cut it so close.
But here, you can see in the background, those things are always making a flat piece. But this part is apparently a curvy bit. Yeah, and then now he gets his arm out. But I don't know how he gets his arm out, but yeah, his lightsaber is clearly not working anymore. Yeah, ha, funny.
There goes his lightsaber.
Yeah.
Jesus,
part
kiddo.
of it. Yeah, Obi-Wan's
Why didn't he just light his lightsaber?
Funny. Obi-Wan's gonna kill me.
Why didn't he just ignite it together?
And now we're starting to get to the final, and the arena of Geonosis. I don't remember what the arena is actually called. I know it has a name though. They took out for Shaw. Or
Finally.
Thing, whatever. Yeah. Yeah. And now finally we get the whole. Yeah.
Oh my God. Were you in love with a 9-year-old? That's just weird.
Yeah.
No, ever since he came back into her life.
Yeah.
She's in love with a 19-year-old.
She fell in love with him super quick.
Yep.
Yeah, dude, that kiss wasn't a mistake.
Yeah. Yeah, they fell real quick, even though Anakin's just been creepy the entire movie.
Just leave the Jedi.
Yeah.
I know.
And before we die, I want you to know that I'm a man. Seriously.
Oh, that came from nowhere.
And
Okay,
Obi-Wan
cool.
apparently didn't see them kissing, even though he was facing right towards them.
Well, to be fair, she thinks she's
Yeah,
That is true.
Obi-Wan should. Oh, I guess no. Maybe.
bow out before you pass. So you're not going to die well.
Yeah. And now Obi-Wan's like, what the fuck did you guys do?
What I find super interesting about the generations
Mm-hmm.
is they're less about like honor and fighting, and they're more about just sacrificing.
No, they're not about honor at all. They're all about just
Sacrifice.
fighting. You're gonna fight and die for our amusement. I
This
don't even
is-
care. We're not even gonna pretend that we had like try to negotiate with you. We're just gonna kill you.
Yeah. But here's my big thing of, okay, Padme is the senator. So this would be a declaration of war. You would think, I mean, here's the thing, they could at least argue that, okay, Anakin, Obi-Wan was trespassing, we can put him to death. But with capturing and murdering Senator Padme, this is an open declaration of war. You'd think they'd be like,
But
look,
it
she was
definitely
doing
would have
something
made more
she shouldn't have
sense for
been.
them to kind of capture them and kill them secretly and hide the bodies, like somebody
Yeah.
clearly did with Sifo Dyas. Why you would make it
Yeah.
such a spectacle with so many witnesses makes zero sense.
yeah, and here we got their
But then
three
again,
creatures.
Palpatine's trying to start a war, so he may have been like, "Yeah, go ahead and do this, so that we start this war that I've been trying to start
Yeah.
for 10 years now."
And here we got the Rhino on steroids, the pissed off cat, and the stabby crab. I forget what they're all called. I know one of them is a Nexu, and one of them is an Acolyte, but I don't remember what the last one is, and I don't know which one's which. But yeah, like I said, I just call it stabby crab, pissed off cat, and Rhino on
I've
steroids.
seen about those.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he hangs out with Obi-Wan a lot, though.
Just relax. What about Pat? She seems to be on top of things.
Yeah, what about Padme? She's on top of this, so don't worry. And by the way, yeah, she's on top of it. And by the way, smart thing. Put yourself as far away from the thing as you can. And this part coming up here.
That ripped off so well.
Well, he was smart to be out there on the horn. For
No, I know, but I'm kinda
she gets
surprised
her,
that
she
it
gets her
was
back
stone.
cut off, and then like a
Okay.
bunch of the clothing ripped off. They were
I
just
think the
doing
weight
that
cut would have been getting better than the stone.
That's true.
Yeah. She gets a bunch of her clothing ripped off, and it's like, yeah, that's clearly just done to show skin. That's all. That's the only reason they did that. Yeah. You have a giant cat thing trying to eat her. Why do you want me to shoot her?
She's got phenomenal upper body strength for all that climbing. I'm just saying.
Well, she's lucky she didn't break her freaking wrist and jumping down like that. Oh, this part here. Ow.
That's what he's trying to do, yeah. Ezra was really good at that.
Yeah.
He was really good with animals.
I do like how you see Obi-Wan take the spear, watch the guard with it, and then the guard gets impaled by the stabby crab.
He totally tamed the animal with the Force, yeah.
Yeah.
So Anakin is empathetic, kind of, to be able to do that, right? Like, he's not a bad guy.
I don't know how to use a spear, but okay.
It's fine. He just knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and here we see that she is clearly a woman because
Ow, that would have hurt real bad, I'm just
saying.
saying.
Not be singing soprano for the rest of his life.
That's how he's traveling, but dumb decision.
He threw that spear pretty well considering his hands were bound together.
Yeah, you can't just throw something at it unless you actually kill it.
Yeah.
Come on, everyone.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, yeah, well, all you did is piss it off. So.
Yeah, I'm with Newt on this one. Why did you like decide to kill them this way instead of again just shooting them in their jail cell to begin with?
Well, it's entire thing of they wanted.
No, I mean they're clearly trying to make a spectacle because they're trying to start a war.
Well, it's well, obviously it's a whole the Coliseum type thing, but yeah.
Still a dumbass decision.
It is a dumb decision. It definitely would have been able to just kill them quietly and hide the bodies, and then be like, "Oh, he left. I don't know what you're talking about."
Yeah, we never saw him.
There was a miscommunication. We attacked him, realized what was going on, and let him go. I don't know where he went.
Yeah. Or you could just be like, just leave him out in the wilds, and because it's clearly that there's plenty of wildlife out here. Just be like Gene Olsen's killed them.
Harris.
We don't know.
I don't know these two names.
And all the Jedi apparently infiltrated the. This. How did all the Jedi get in there?
Is this the scene that the NSYNC was supposed to be in? I think this is the scene NSYNC was almost in.
So what?
Why did none of the Jedi
Lucas's daughters were big
They
fans of NSYNC, so Lucas almost put them in as Jedi in this scene.
Although here we get to
and
see
Mace
every
Windu has a
ILM
purple
guy.
lightsaber because Samuel L. Jackson was like, I want to be able to point myself out in this major fight scene. I don't want to be just blue and green with everybody else.
No, from what I
Also,
understand, it was more. It wasn't so much that. It was more of I want a purple lightsaber. Period. Done. Over. Yeah, but still, it's like. And here we should mention that everybody who worked at ILM and wanted to be a Jedi is in this scene as a Jedi, although they are really crappy at their job because they, you have to run up into the droids and hit them with your stick in order to break them instead of just swing around. And there's absolutely no conservation of energy in how they're moving either.
And they just picked up a gun and they hopped on a writing thing. She can clearly handle herself on the battlefield.
Yeah.
I think it's no joke, yeah.
No. God, that's terrible CGI, though.
Yeah.
Because the animal was moving, and she was not moving with it. She was just sitting still, and the thing was moving underneath her. Like, that was awful.
Yeah, it was bad. Oh, I think this, we have the worst Jedi ever. Who gets gunned down by Jango Fett with relative ease. And you're probably going to be getting that part here soon.
Did they really just call all the Jedi here to save 2 Jedi, though? Like, this doesn't seem like a very smart decision.
This is a very bad idea.
Starting a war.
Yeah.
Which seems like a strange thing to do. Because, again, why would you send all the Jedi into the same battle just in case something goes wrong?
I'm watching in the background. A couple times you'll see a Jedi swinging their lightsaber at nothing. I've seen that a couple times now, where a Jedi is swinging his lightsaber, but there's no blast.
I felt like Jango Fett got robbed in this fight
They're
scene.
just swinging around. Oh, and this part here. I want to have you watch when they show the helmet. Watch shadows.
Like, I feel like he should have been able to hold his own better against Mace Windu, but he goes down so quickly.
But did you see the shadows? There were 2 shadows. One was
Oh,
the
I
head
missed that.
flying off, the other was the helmet.
Yes.
I don't know. There's something about two shadows.
No. There's two shadows because one shadow is supposed to be his head, the other shadow is his helmet. Are you hearing me or what? Are you breaking up?
Hey, that guy.
Yeah, I forget his name.
He's a fish guy. Pretty cool.
Yeah, he also smiles all the time in the Clone Wars.
And
he's smiling there too.
Kit Fisto. Kit Fisto, yeah. He apparently always has a smile. I think still pissed.
I like how her hair looks like she's actually doing something and isn't just staying like perfectly in her bun.
Yeah. Although here's the thing, Jedi are getting shot down left, right, and center, and she
Everyone's like, I have a lightsaber now.
even though she can't defend herself from a blast.
Even Obi-Wan's hair is all messed up.
Oh.
Yeah, these droids were not made well.
This is such a drag. This is such a drag.
Oh my god, the puns, C-3PO, the puns.
Yeah. Well, I think he has another one later of like, you're singeing my circuits or something like that. Yeah, you're singeing my circuits. Yeah, you're singeing my circuits. Although this is a good scene here, we see all the droids kind of like come around.
They lost a lot of Jedi in that battle.
Intimidating scene when they, but yeah, we see that a bunch of Jedi apparently just suck at their jobs if they all get gunned down with relative ease.
Master Windu, you have fought down.
I mean, in the original animated Clone Wars, you see Mace Windu take out a whole army of drones by himself, so this is just really weird.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is finished.
Oh, it's Focloon and what's his name?
Yadi Mundi.
That's it.
We will not be hostages to be fired, Dooku. Then, I'm sorry, everybody.
I hate what Anakin does there of like put the lightsaber back behind your head. That just screams shoot me. Protect yourself from being shot with your sword in front of you.
Look, they could have just sent in air support and not even bother with the troops.
Yeah.
It is a little weird that this is called Attack of the Clones, because Clones is on their side. You think they would have called it like
like I said, it's Attack of the Good Guys. It's Attack of the Good Guys.
Like what?
I'd have called them cockroaches.
Right? Because the droids are, the clones are attacking in defense in this situation.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't even really say, this is just oddly named.
Yeah. I mean, Grant, it's what would you name it though? Because
also, seeing like Kiadi Mundi and Luminara and Depa Billabong, all that here, why weren't any of them used in the final scene with Rey? Like, he pulled a lot of known ones, and then he pulled a lot of random ones that were never even mentioned by name in anything. And you're like, what?
Yeah. Trust me, I know. There are so many Jedi he could have used but didn't.
That's
another thing. It's like, why don't you see any of the Force Ghosts? How come you don't see like I said, when they have Kylo Ren having his whole shebang with Han Solo memory, why don't they have that be Hayden Christensen? Just seriously, it would make more sense if it did actually be like have his conversation with his grandfather who was evil.
Good call, my
And here we got a whole. The Jedi have apparently no idea how to command troops because they just land their troops in a straight line and it's take cover behind something. Seriously, but we never see them do that. Right here, in the hologram of the battle, we see that they're not using cover to their advantage. Wow, that pilot has really good training. Yeah, here. Just watch. They just charge directly into combat and they're not using cover, so they're gonna get mowed down en masse. It makes sense that the droids do that because the droids don't care about their lives. Work in your first choice.
Spider droids. I think it's spider droids.
Over here, this part of it's like, yeah, attack this Federation starts. It makes sense that you want to stop them from escaping, but I don't think you're going to be able to stop them with the small ordnance you have on those gunships.
Yeah, they don't have like major firepower.
Yeah. Though steam coming up here, we see that these tanks are absolutely useless because one missile takes out an entire tank currently. Because we got these giant hailfire, what they're called hailfire droids, the droids with the big wheels and all the missiles. And one missile destroys an entire freaking tank. So apparently the tanks suck.
We must get the starships back into space.
Yeah, so
Back
just
into
retreat.
space? Why would you land them?
Yeah, no doubt. Okay, I'm playing devil's advocate. They landed the ships to get all the droids onto the ships. That's
sure.
Playing devil's advocate.
But they're making the droids on Geonosis. They're not being made on the starships.
So yeah, that's why they're putting it. They have to land the starships to put all the droids onto them.
Okay, I see what you're saying now. Yeah. Sure.
Playing devil's advocate, like I said.
Wouldn't it? Oh, hey, look, they're already planning the Death Star.
Yep. Which
they're 20 years ahead of their time, I guess. 22 years ahead of their time.
It doesn't make any sense, but yeah, whatever. Yeah. Okay, and that's the Grievous ship later, and yeah, and here we see Count Dooku get on his speeder bike, and yeah, how come they get a ship that goes into space and Count Dooku has to take a speeder bike? I don't know. At least he has a fighter escort. Yeah. And here, where we got all our tanks firing at one specific starship.
Yes, sir. Going forward to sector 5.5.
Couldn't just say target the nearest starship. You have to go target sector 5. Whatever. And yeah, here we see all the cannons firing through the smoke. Like I said, they're not covered entirely. But seriously, cover mine something. Get low, lay on the ground, and at least make yourself as small a target as possible. Oh, they found Count Dooku. No one else does, just them.
You don't have like laser or like laser?
Yeah.
All you have are rockets on this ship? Really?
Yeah. And here we see Padme falls out the ship, but she's fine. The clone trooper was out, yeah, he's dead. here's another thing. They have guns that can aim back there. Why are none of them aiming back there and shooting at the fighters following them? There's one gun specifically in back and it's never used.
I can't take too far alone. I need you. If we catch him, we can end this war right now. We have a job to do. I don't care. Put the ship down. You will be expelled from the Jedi Order. I can't leave her. Come to your senses.
Yeah, and Obi-Wan never puts together that he's in love.
No, she didn't.
That's true. She wouldn't.
Seriously?
She would tell you to do your duty too. Yeah. Oh, Yoda senses the conflict in young Skywalker.
Yeah. Well, this part here, they land. They land, get off the gunship, and then right after they get off the gunship, it blows up.
Fair by wanting to stop the ship he's trying to do his job.
And he's still, yeah, I was told to protect Padme. I'm still trying to do that, Master.
You're going to pay from Jedi today, Dooku.
Oh my goodness, Anakin, you're so emotional. No, Anakin, you're way too rash. Yeah,
brilliant move, dude. Yeah, just go charging directly at him. Why not?
I mean,
it's like deciding to get into a fist fight with
a mistake against Maul originally, right? Before he came to his senses and cut him in half. I don't think so. It's an interesting way to hold a lightsaber.
Although I do like this part here where he's just like, "You're disappointing to me. I thought you could be better than this." And, he's just egging him on. I do love that.
Was it? Oh, crap! Was it Christopher Lee who was actually he knows how to use a real sword? So he actually kept trying to fight for real, which is kind of a bad thing in theater because you can't they don't know
knowing Christopher Lee, that wouldn't surprise me. I heard stories like that, but I'm not sure if they're true or not. But I would believe it.
It was either him or maybe it was. Crap, I don't remember who that story was about, but I've definitely heard that. Somebody knew how to fight.
I've heard it too, but I don't think of it as Christopher Lee. Because Christopher Lee, unfortunately, at this point was still pretty old.
Maybe I'm thinking of a completely different movie.
No, like I said, I have heard that story too, but I don't know who it was. I don't believe it's Christopher Lee because, like I said, Christopher Lee is 70 or 80 at the time of making this movie. So I don't think it'd be him. It could be. But the part Obi-Wan gets a slight little cut on his knee and on his shoulder, yet he's down for the count. Seriously, they should have had those injuries be actually make him actually injured. Because like I said, he's got a little scratch on his knee and on his arm, but that's it. It's no, he can still fight.
Yeah, I kind of figured. I mean, he has quite that history, so.
He's a fencer.
Okay.
Continue that.
And when Anakin gets his arm cut off, I want you to pay attention to what he does. Yeah, he just kind of lets his arm go. He's not doing anything. He just kind of opens up and his arm is cut off. And yeah.
Enter Yoda. For one of the best
this kind of always bugs me because I don't think Yoda should have a lightsaber because he doesn't need one. He shouldn't need one.
I mean, that's very true. But his lightsaber is like a baby lightsaber.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, he kind of needs a baby lightsaber because he's only 3 feet.
I mean, he's a small dude. Like a full-size lightsaber would be awkward.
Yeah.
I like how they're just having a battle of the wills at this point.
Yeah.
Yoda's like, do you really?
although this part bugs me. It's okay, I'm going to bring the roof down on you. Don't do that.
Bringing down the roof.
Yeah, you're just going to collapse the entire building.
Yoda didn't even break a sweat.
Yeah.
Did you though?
Yeah, there you go.
That's a neat trick. Yoda should really teach that to others.
Yeah, no doubt. He can just eat up the lightning with his hand. Although this part bugs the shit out of me.
It's obvious that this contest cannot be decided by our knowledge.
He's been talking about it this whole time, actually. I know. He's the basis.
No, hold on. It's obvious this fight scene can't be decided by our skills with the Force, but by our skills with the lightsaber. That's basically saying like we just want to defend each other, but that didn't work. So now we're gonna get into a slap. I always say yeah.
It would be so hard to fight Yoda because of the size difference.
Yeah, no doubt.
Fighting people your own size, and here's something who's like the size of a child, it'd be super awkward.
Yeah. Although it's also a thing of like he's just jumping around everywhere where it's like, okay.
He's also very agile. Like Yoda would be really hard to fight against for many reasons.
But yeah, like I said, it's like, okay, it's like trying to swat a fly. He's just jumping around all over the place, and what can you do to defend against that? So this part here, in the original, it set up that moving like a stone and moving entire X-wings is the same thing. Yet here we see Yoda shake himself trying to carry this pillar.
Come on, Obi-Wan, you're awake-ish. I know you're in pain, but you could probably...
Like I said, he got a little scratch on his leg and on his shoulder. Maybe, yeah, he's injured, but it's not. But yeah, you can still move. You can still fight.
Like, I've seen people in other movies get stabbed in the leg and continue to fight. Look at Inigo Montoya. Come on, Obi-Wan. Get over yourself.
Well, earlier this week, I ripped my toe open something fierce. I can still walk. I can still stand. And when I say rip my toe open, I mean I can literally pull the skin back and see the bone. All right. Yeah, it hurts to walk, but I'm not. Oh, I forgot about this. And here we see Padme run in, and Padme runs in, kisses Anakin, and again, no one puts two and two together. Although I should mention Count Dooku's solar sail. A solar sail is a really great transportation in the solar system if you don't need to get anywhere within 10,000 years. Because if it gets there, it's going to be very, very slow. But apparently he has hyperdrive, and yeah. Well, I guess you could argue that that's actually just a solar panel using that to power the ship. Maybe, I don't know. And the red sunset of Coruscant. Oh, yeah. It's all symbolic. Although John Williams really kicks ass here. Which, granted, that's just to the point of the scene. It's just John Williams, music done. Oh, and here we see Count Dooku is apprentice to Palpatine, even though Count Dooku is like at least 20 years older than Palpatine at this point.
Oh, I forgot. Excellent. Everything is going as planned.
I'm not sure what the lore is, but I think Dooku is supposed to be 90 years old at this point, and Palpatine is 60. So yeah, Dooku's like 20 to 30 years his senior.
Yeah, but he's still learning the dark side from him. Like, age doesn't really mean anything if you don't have the experience behind it.
Well, he's been a Jedi for his entire life. You think he'd be able to put some together?
Yeah, but the dark side obviously has more to it than what being a Jedi is. That's how they entice the Jedi to join them. Because they're like, look what I can do with the dark side. Come join me. I'll teach you my ways.
I have to admit that the clothes would not be.
Yeah. Without the clones, it wouldn't be a victory. You don't. How is this a victory that the galaxy's now at war? And mind you, it's a lot of it is because of your guys' incompetence and not be able to piece together a plan. But still. The whole clone army scene is just, yeah.
They are not all in step. That's annoying.
Just, yeah. Everybody, I do like it. If you watch here, I think in a scene coming up, I'm not sure, but you'll see Bail Organa. He's just kind of like does a little tap, like, oh crap, like freedom. Because I mean, he already knows the situation. Just kind of just a little tap. Yeah, right there. For me, anyway. I'm not sure you've seen it. Oh, here. Okay. Can we just take a moment to recognize that Obi-Wan is on Coruscant and is on Naboo?
Yeah. Well, he's returning the senator to her home world.
You think they would have done that when all the Jedi were together because they were all there?
That's fine.
Although here's something: when Padme is pretending to be a refugee, she's got her hair up in this big, like fancy thing. Yet when she's getting married, she just puts a doily over her head. Seriously, you would expect for her to have like something more decorative for a wedding, but
it's a secret wedding. Who are they going to invite? They can't let anybody know they're married.
Yeah.
Except for droids.
Except for right. Well, the droids aren't going to tell anyone. They can be programmed not to.
Yeah.
Like,
although they do have one guy there, the pastor, I guess is the best way to say it. So yeah, that was Attack of the Clones, everybody. I don't know. The good news is we're done with the bad movies now, so now we can actually
yes, the good that ones. Is all the prequels.
There's the good news. So yeah. Ah man. I will say, Ewan McGregor is easily hitting it out of the park. Everybody else is just kind of not. Palpatine maybe, but he's only in like 5 minutes of it total, so it's sad. So yeah. Final thoughts.
It obviously could have used some better dialogue and a bit better acting, but overall, I don't actually hate this movie.
I will say I hate it less than I thought I would watching it again. It's still bad because, like I said, that the entire middle part is just
like I said, it could have been better, but
yeah.
And we talked about this earlier. I think they should have started the prequel trilogy with this movie, but.
Well, yeah, just instead of making the whole instead of having Anakin being the whole chosen one, blah blah blah, just make him just some random Jedi, and instead of going like, okay, this is have the first movie be the start of the Clone Wars, have the second movie be the middle of the Clone Wars, and have the last movie be the end of the Clone Wars.
Yeah,
that would make a lot more sense, and it fit a lot nicer together. I mean, granted, it's also another rule of screenwriting is this the most interesting point of your character's life? If not, why are you not showing me that?
Yeah.
And so,
like, they tried to show how Anakin, starts his descent to the dark side, but it's still just so sudden in the third movie. And that's why I think we should have started with this one and used the second movie to really flesh out the descent, so that by the third movie, have the second movie end with him becoming full bad guy, or practically there, so that the third movie he can kill the younglings and you already understand why, and not just flip a switch 5 minutes into the third movie because, oh no, Padme's gonna die and I need to stop it. Let me kill these small children.
Yeah, no doubt. But another thing is, and I know I mentioned this before, they kill Darth Maul in the Phantom Menace, and then they have to Count Dooku. What they should have done is have Darth Maul kill Qui-Gon, but then the fight somehow breaks up. I don't know. Somehow they get separated. Then have, instead of being Count Dooku here, have it be Darth Maul here. So,
Yeah.
and then like I said, and then after, then, you know, blah, blah, blah. But then at the end of the last movie, instead of like, okay, Anakin's first test as being a Darth Lord is going to kill his old Darth Lord. So that's how I loaded on it. But like I said, I'm not the director.
Yeah, Lucas makes some interesting decisions in the prequels, but
well, like I said, it's one of those things where it's like, okay,
they're not as good as you first thought they were when you saw them in theater for the first time, but they're actually not as bad as people make them out to be either.
Yeah. So all right. So yeah. All right. So yeah. Thank you for watching, everybody. Next week, I don't know what we'll probably do solo next week, I think.
Yeah.
All right. We'll do the good Star Wars movie. We'll continue on with the good Star Wars movie. So thanks everybody for watching. Everybody have a great week. We will see you next time.